Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I Man here from the Block Runner, MetaZone, Rovi, and MScribe, and today we're going to be talking about SBET.
Sharplink Gaming, dude.
Joe Lubin.
Ethereum.
What else?
Come on, dude. I know you got something in there.
Vitalik.
Yeah, you got me there. Hold on. Charles Hoskinson's. I mean, he's loosely affiliated back in the day.
Gavin Wood.
Yeah, you got me, dude. Checkmate. I ran out of Ethereum lore keepers, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, we're back at it, dude. We talked about some crypto stuff yesterday. Today, we talk about some crypto treasury stuff today. Right?
Today, we're stock runners.
Stock runners, that's right, because you guys have been paying attention for the last couple months. There's a weird trend that has kind of emerged. It's the cross-section between institutional adoption of crypto, right?
And blockchain?
That's pretty much it. It's pretty much just the point in time where crypto spills over into the traditional equities markets.
Yeah, and I'm seeing two sort of sentiments. Some are very bullish on this whole narrative, and others are very not.
That's good.
Yes,
that's where you want to.
That's where you want to be.
You don't want to be where everybody's overly enthusiastic about this stuff, because that's your signal to leave.
Correct.
You want people to be like grave dancing, like as soon as numbers goes down for a little bit, you want them to be stomping on your corpse, right, and like laughing in your face, like I told you so. You're idiots to ever buy into something like this.
Right.
Because that means you're early, right? And then once those people convert into top blasters and then bag holders eventually because they bought in late.
Yeah.
Because they spent the first 6 to 8 months dogging you about buying this stuff. You know, this happens all the time. Same thing with Bitcoin. It's like the people who told me Bitcoin was a scam back in like 2017.
Yeah.
They're rushing to buy it now, right?
That's
they're
right.
wondering, it's like, I should buy it 20 times more expensive than when you told me to.
Yeah. Michael Saylor was hating on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Right. All these people who are now buying it, they used to hate it.
Yeah. So this is per the course, right? So we're here to kind of reinforce the conviction of the thesis, right? We think crypto does belong in the mix of the traditional equities markets because we think there is a semblance of fundamental value being produced from the crypto industry itself, right? And
yeah, specifically Ethereum.
Well, yeah, Bitcoin itself as a store of value.
Yeah.
Ethereum as this computational network that can support things like stable coins and DeFi, which we're going to talk about why that's like a killer advantage to the Ethereum Treasury asset class.
Yeah. How do you not buy the world computer?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
we'll
have
never
to.
know.
Some of us do, some of us don't, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some of us like Fartcoin, you know? Some of us enjoy just a laugh and a gaffe from time to time. I don't want to think so hard, dude.
Wow.
The world computer? That implies
thinking.
I got to learn some stuff, dude. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? How is it the world computer, first of all?
Well, Ethereum calls themselves the world computer.
Yeah, but what's your 30-second pitch for people? Like, how could you convince somebody that it's actually true?
Well, I think the best application of Ethereum from a user's perspective is like a payments network. So stable coins is going to be the most dominant form of utilization for Ethereum.
Yeah, but I think more so it's the world computer aspect comes from like
the programmability of money.
Essentially. Yeah. And the distributed consensus around that when you could it's as decentralized as like a virtual machine has become so far in crypto. There's tons of blockchains, there's tons of smart contract implementations across these different blockchains, but Ethereum has the most decentralized version of it. But that comes with trade-offs. It's not very fast.
Yeah.
Therefore, there's a lot of L2 chains, which we're going to talk about a new one here pretty soon.
Yep.
Which is hyper relevant to all you SBET enjoyers out there.
Yeah, so let's get into the tabs here. So we're looking at Sharplink Gaming, SBET, and there's a little dipping happening recently over the last day. We're going to get into why that's happening. But yeah, so over right now it's $20, and we were just like zooming out on this thing, and it's...
Yeah, all this previous price history has nothing to do with ETH Treasury status. This was a whole other company before.
Yeah, and it reached $26,000, which I thought was a little crazy. But now it's a completely different company. It's an ETH Treasury company, and it's at $20. So let's move on. So Sharplink Gaming now holds 100,000 ETH between July 21st and 27th. Sharplink acquired 77,000 ETH at almost a $300 million valuation. ETH per share is now 3.4, up from 3.06.
Which is what you want to see, right? Essentially, that's what these treasury companies, the value prop is. It's like a levered exposure to the base asset itself, right? So the name of the game is to increase that concentration.
You know what's interesting about this is that this is now becoming like the dominant form of valuation, right?
I would say so.
Bitcoin per share, ETH per share. But what this allows is for dilution, but this number still goes up, ideally. And so if you could dilute, but also acquire enough ETH, the ETH per share still goes up.
Yeah, so when you mean dilute, you mean essentially
issue new shares.
So that you can generate funds.
Yes, that's right.
Which I think is what's happening now, right? If you're wondering why is there a blip, well, and then the MNAV has decreased over time.
Yeah.
That's what these companies are doing, right? Whenever there's like a premium, a multiple.
Yes.
Beyond 2 or so, it's like that's their signal to start liquidating in order to stockpile more of that base asset.
So that the ETH per share can go up.
Correct. So that's why you should expect, if you're playing in these waters, expect insane volatility, right?
Yeah, which is kind of the product. Design, that's the product of this whole nature of this thing.
Yeah, correct. So let's see where that has positioned them, because like a couple weeks ago, they were number 1. But, Bitmine over here, overtaking them.
Yep. Bitmine now with 625,000 ETH. Sharplink with 438,000.
So we've talked about Bitmine. That's Tom Lee, right?
Yes.
If you don't know who Tom Lee is, he's the CNBC god. He's the guy who just always nails his Bitcoin predictions.
Yes.
So that's it. That's his provenance, right? And him being part of Bitmine is what deserves that, I guess, market premium.
Yeah, and just a few days ago, he predicted an ETH price between, I think he said $10,000 or $15,000.
Like at the end of the cycle?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, that's really good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. But here's the MNAVs here, 1.71 for Bitmine, which is, as of right now, the leading Ethereum Treasury holder. Sharplink Gaming at a 1.54. So they're creeping down to 1. I think that's like the bottom end of like what they're allowed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I would expect a price reversal as they get closer to 1.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. I agree. All right. Joe Lubin here. Proud to welcome Joseph Chalom as co-CEO of Sharplink Gaming, having led the digital asset strategy at BlackRock that brought IBIT, ETH, and BITL to life. Joseph laid the groundwork for institutional adoption at CryptoScale. So this guy came from BlackRock.
Yeah, this is a monster acquisition, right?
Yeah.
Which, interestingly enough, the market did not,
they're not interpreting this as a bullish thing.
Or maybe they are, but the sell pressure from, again, having to liquidate to buy more ETH is just that vast to where, like, even an announcement like this has no effect, right?
Yeah, but this is a huge deal.
It definitely is. I mean, BlackRock was one of the first institutions to really, like, put the pedal to the metal when it comes to, trying to not only position themselves for this new financial paradigm, but to convince others to follow suit, right?
Yeah, they did the first ETF.
Yeah.
All right. So we have SBET. It's not a Bitcoin cult. Not a one-man show screaming scarcity like it's a timeshare pitch.
So this is the tribalism here, right?
Yeah.
Ethereum versus Bitcoin. It's always like this.
Yeah. This is Ethereum staked at scale, backed by a real team, not a preacher.
Yeah, dude. So here they are.
So I asked you a question offline. I was like, what are the 2 most powerful narratives in the history of time? And what were they?
World of Warcraft? No, I don't know, dude. I think I said money and God, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
And those are backed by preaching. And so those tend to be the most valuable and most easily spread narratives of all time.
I totally agree. When I saw this tweet, I understand the gist. It's like, look at this team of graybeards and these like 30-year plus experienced lads in the TradFi financial world. I'm going to bet against that.
Yeah, and I agree. It's a good team.
you always want to see this adds to the fundamental package of what SBET has become, right?
Sure,
But at the same time, don't undersell the power of a preacher.
Yeah.
Of a headman. Michael Saylor is exactly that, and it's a major factor as to why his strategy worked, and now is being emulated by everybody else.
Yeah, and before that was Andreas Antonopoulos.
Yeah, so these things require a bit of that. So, and you want to see a good management team for sure, but you want to see a good preacher also.
Right. The preacher in this case is Joe Lubin.
Yeah.
And Tom Lee. Like, these guys are the ones that you want to bet on.
And they're out there on CNBC almost every day, just about, talking about Ethereum, talking about how crypto is like, it's crypto's time now, and you need this.
Charles Hoskinson with Cardano. That was a preacher of all time right there.
Yeah, literally just on his webcam, probably in his jammies every day, dude, just convincing the earth that Cardano is the best blockchain.
Yeah.
Backed by real research.
And number went up really, for a long time.
Yeah, so it's important, right? So factor that into which of these treasury companies do you really have built conviction in, right? Here he is. This is proof of preacher, dude.
Yeah, so
let's listen to this preach. It's only a minute long.
Yeah, Ethereum Treasury strategies are better than Bitcoin. All right.
I mean, what's the difference between using an Ether corporate treasury strategy versus Bitcoin?
Well, Michael Saylor's done a brilliant job with his particular implementation of the strategy. Being able to do some of the same things and many other things using Ether is actually much more powerful because Ether is a productive and yielding asset. So we've been accumulating capital in various ways every single day. We've been instantly turning it into Ether and instantly staking it or restaking it, and we'll take advantage of decentralized finance yielding capabilities. And so we're able to take our Ether and grow it directly. And we believe that we'll be able to accumulate more Ether per fully diluted share much faster than any other Ethereum-based project or certainly faster than the Bitcoin-based projects.
And it's not just Sharplink Gaming. You've got Bitmine, Immersion, Bit Digital. All of these companies have been accumulating Ether in July. What is the difference between...
Fucking go, dude. That's my preacher, right?
Yes.
I'm in, dude. I'm in.
Yes.
I mean, I wish he had a little bit more pep in his step, Just a couple more cups of coffee in the morning would help, A little injection of liquid meth might not, some of those Hitler drugs, dude.
Yeah.
So he's like shaking and shit as he delivers his speech,
Right.
It's like a little bit of on the, what's the word? It's like a drone, right? Like those college professors you have, but you definitely fall asleep in those auditoriums.
Yeah, I've been in one of those.
I've been in several of those. So, but other than that, the messaging is pretty solid, right? Like he's got the alpha energy. We're gonna out accumulate everybody in the game, including the Bitcoin guys.
Yeah, right? Ethereum is a very productive asset.
Correct. Yeah, he's educating and informing the investing public of like the differences, the differentiators between Bitcoin, which all the investors understand. Like this, Bitcoin's a powerhouse. Right, but there's all these other crypto assets. Like, what's the big deal with those?
Yeah. Also, the rate of accumulation for Ethereum from the perspective of SBET is going to be the percentage is going to be higher than something like a MicroStrategy, right? They won't acquire at the same rate.
Not anymore. No.
Right, not anymore. And so this is a better bet. And so, and he's right. It is going to be better than these Bitcoin companies, treasury companies.
Correct.
All right, so moving on here. It says, this guy says, you guys realize Lubin is going to max buy ETH, which will make ETH go up, which will make SBET go up, and then Tom Lee will get jealous and buy ETH, which will make ETH go up. Consequently, Bitmine will go up, and then Lubin will realize he needs to buy more ETH, and then Tom will game theorize and try to front run Lubin, and then ETH will go up more, so then SBET will go up, and so forth.
It's an infinite loop of go up technology, right?
That's right. So Joe comes in and says, Tom and Bitminer and we at SBET might engage in a cutthroat one-upmanship, incessantly working to outbuy each other and stacking ETH. Or we might hold hands and collaboratively explain the paradigm shift to decentralization.
Or both.
Yeah, or both.
I think it's both.
Yeah.
Basically, because they're on their own. They're preaching the same gospel, right?
Yeah.
You got Joel Osteen and what's the other guy? Fucking.
I have no idea, dude.
The big guy, the guy who like puts voodoo spells on people when they fall over. I forget his name.
I don't know.
Some other mega church pastor. They're preaching the same gospel. They have billion-dollar churches.
They have jets,
their own jets, their own mansions and such. But you know they got to compete for the liquidity grab of human souls.
That's right. That's right.
It's kind of the similar concept, right? Ethereum is the new church, right?
Yeah, it's a good church.
Yeah, but you can have more than one.
Yes,
right?
of course.
Different gospels, different approaches. You know, some are Baptist, some are Catholic, some are whatever's.
Yeah.
Some stake ETH, some restake ETH.
Someone liquid stake ETH.
Yeah, some would lend some ETH, compound the lending abilities through DeFi and such. So that's what you kind of want to work through, like when you're kind of doing your due diligence, is which of these entities, I don't know, like have a more strategic approach. And I think Joe Lubin, because of his, for one, co-founder status of Ethereum itself, has the deepest understanding of the mechanistic intricacies of what ETH can do.
Yeah.
Right? Therefore, generate the best yield over time. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Moving on. Waiting on Joe Lubin's announcement on Sharplink Gaming. Staked its $450 million in ETH. Issue convertible notes to acquire an additional $1 billion in ETH. Lend a portion of its staked ETH in DeFi protocols. And SBET could revolutionize the industry and showcase the power of smart contract platforms to traditional finance.
Roaring lion, dude.
Yeah, so this is what I mean by productive asset. You can lend a portion of the staked ETH in DeFi protocols.
Yeah. And by the way, little side note, you could do this with Bitcoin too, but it's just not like a tried and true systematic thing yet.
You have to go through institutions to do that.
Yes.
Like collateralized lending, things like that.
Or like very nascent like protocols that are like, they barely emerged within like a last few years, right? So they're not tried and tested. They might be vulnerable to smart contract risks and such. Therefore, you'd probably have less likely to have institutional usage, right? So,
that's right.
But that's something to follow along as this whole like treasury space grows. At some point, the Bitcoin guys are going to want to put their Bitcoin to work.
Yeah, yeah,
sure.
100%. Yes.
Because they're going to see the Ethereum team out yielding them literally. And be like, all right, guys, time to like really rub our Bitcoins together. You know they're going to do it, dude.
Well, SBET has something under their sleeve, man.
They do.
It's called Linea. Today, we're setting a new standard for Ethereum Layer 2s, introducing native ETH yield protocol level ETH burn and Ethereum native consortium to manage the latest ecosystem fund in the space. This is how we build the Layer 2 with where Ethereum wins. Yeah. So Linea is an L2 to Bitcoin. The notable thing about Linea, it'll be the first L2 to burn ETH at the protocol level. 20% of all net transaction fees paid in ETH will be burned, directly reducing ETH supply, supporting Layer 1 value accrual, and increasing the value of ETH.
I mean, this is huge. This is, if you guys haven't been following along Ethereum, like right now, Ethereum's pretty good. But for the last couple of years, it's been pretty terrible.
Yeah, sorry, TJ.
Underperforming the Earth. And a lot of it was attributed to this, right? Ethereum went down the pathway of like L2 vampirism.
Yeah.
And none of them were properly reciprocating the value back to the L1. And this is the first one with the right model.
Yeah. So now Base and other L2s are going to have a competitor that is burning ETH. And what happens when you get competitors? You compete. Right. And so now I would imagine Base and all the others are going to also burn ETH, and therefore
maybe it's all dependent on whether or not like this narrative is big enough to attract the right developers.
Correct.
Or et cetera, right? If you could build enough traction on this protocol and then point to this, the reason why Linea is now like generating more revenue or fees than Base and Arbitrum combined.
Yeah.
Because they're actually supporting Ethereum and the other ones are not. Then it's like, all right, time to re-architect our L2s.
Yeah,
right?
As a developer, you're thinking about Linea because it's Joe Lubin. He's on CNBC. He's out there publicly talking about this, and his like flywheel can go and support your app on Linea.
100%. Yeah, like who knows? Someday during these periods of liquidation events, like what we're going through right now, instead of like using that Wall Street generated liquidity to buy more ETH, maybe it's like we're going to use a portion of that to support the DeFi ecosystem on Linea, therefore TVL go up, Therefore, LP pools go up. Therefore, lending goes up. All these different things that all these developers have built. It makes their apps more robust, and therefore attracts users.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada. You got this like flywheel of extracting from Wall Street and like washing all those funds into like Web3.
In a very legal and completely okay
complicit way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's good times.
All right. Linea is the first layer 2 designed to push value back to Ethereum. As a result, this will grow the value of Sharplink investors.
Yeah, that's basically,
yeah.
ETH go up, SBET go up.
Yeah.
So this is good. What's good for ETH is good for SBET.
Here's why Base is crushing other Ethereum L2s. So the number one L2 right now is Base, and it's generating $185,000 in daily revenue over the past 6 months. So that's about $33 million in 6 months.
Not bad, but also like not great, right? Like, I don't think, this is like the top end expectation. So it's like Linea does so well, and it has like a market share grab of that. I don't know if that's gonna like excite Wall Street to where all of a sudden SBET is like a unicorn.
Correct.
At least not yet.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And that's why I pitched to you. It's like, well, do you know how many holders Bitcoin has? About 100 million, and that's roughly 2 to 3% of the world's population. Mm-hmm. And so, do you think ETH has more or less holders than Bitcoin?
Way less.
Right. And so this is still the early beginnings of Ethereum. And so
this for sure.
Yeah, that's like super early.
Yeah, that's why I looked at a blockchain, not necessarily an L2 but has captured the most like consumer grade usage is Solana, right? So let's look up Solana's revenue.
Yeah, Solana's revenue in Q2 was 271 million.
Now we're getting somewhere, right? Yeah. I think Wall Street sees that, there's an L2 on Ethereum called Linea.
Yeah.
It's generating 300 million a quarter.
Yes.
And there's a ticker called SBET.
All in. All in.
And they're using these revenues to buy more ETH and again to strengthen its DeFi propositions, using that Ethereum Treasury to lock up into their DeFi ecosystem.
It writes itself, dude.
It's a revenue generating craziness.
It sounds like a wheel.
Wheels are good, dude. We love wheels here.
All right. So the king of who started this, Michael Saylor with MicroStrategy, now Strategy.
Yeah.
It's if you look at his entire performance, it's never done better than it's doing now.
Yeah, it's important to keep, because this essentially is the pulse maker of like this entire market meta.
Yeah.
Until this like strokes out, everything else I think is fine.
And it will, right? It's not going to go up forever. Like Michael Saylor started buying in 2020, and it went from $10 to $70 in the peak of 2021, right? And then when Bitcoin started crashing, Strategy started crashing.
Yeah.
And then from there, it started accumulating, and then bull run hit, and you had a 10x there.
Yeah, so it's a question 20x. Of how high is Bitcoin going to go? Therefore, how high can MicroStrategy go?
Yes.
The higher Bitcoin and MicroStrategy goes, the more ceiling for these Ethereum Treasury companies. So basically strap in, buckle in, and don't hit the escape hatch until this thing reverses.
Yeah.
Like, for sure. It's going to be hard to know exactly when it's happening, but that's your gauge, right?
Yeah, and tomorrow, the White House is set to release the digital assets reports to the public.
Yeah, which... I mean, that might be a bullish catalyst for everything, hopefully.
Yeah, I think this is more along the lines of stable coins and maybe some Bitcoin information on like acquisition strategies and things like that. But stable coins, Ethereum, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, this could be like a rally to get, potentially a catalyst to get Ethereum past 4K, which is an insane resistance level. If you could do that, then maybe 5 to 6K end of year, 10K even.
Yeah.
A very radical prediction, but could happen. Depends on this report, right? But we know this is a very bullish cabinet, at least when it comes to crypto.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Trump just bought $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. So.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna green light.
Yeah,
green lights are coming, dude.
All right. Standard Chartered says ETH treasuries could 10x their holdings to 10% of all ETH supply. So they're not selling; they're just getting started. Yeah. So that's end game, or not end game, but like
just a prediction.
Bullish prediction, yeah.
It's an extrapolation, right? You see what's happening. It's working. A lot of these companies are just turning into Ethereum Treasury holders. As of right now, that is accumulative to 1% of the total supply of Ethereum. Over time, when enough of this activity, I guess, occurs, it's reasonable to assume 10% at the end of it. So essentially, we're 10% through the game. Is what I interpret.
Yeah, yeah.
90% left to go.
But number is still going down, man. Why is that? Tom Lee's treasury company plummets, and people are trying to figure out what's happening. And it looks like Bitmine is rebuying their shares to pump the price because number keeps going down, so that they can sell more shares to buy more ETH.
Yeah, they need to increase the MNAV. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
The multiple. What does MNAV stand for? Net asset value.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in order for that to happen, they need stock value need to go back up so that they can. So, but they don't have enough cash. They're declaring they're going to buy $1 billion worth of their own stock. They only have $400 million in cash, but they have like $2.5 billion in ETH. So, what does that mean?
They got to sell ETH.
We got to sell some ETH, dude. So this.
Sorry, TJ.
Yeah, but they're gonna buy it back, dude. I promise. Once that stock go back up a little bit, we're back to 2x and beyond. It's like, all right, time to liquidate on the market and buy that ETH back, maybe some more.
Yeah, yeah.
And keep this thing going, right? So that's what's happening. That's why prices are kind of like dipping, selling off, because that's obviously nobody likes this degree of like uncertainty and like this is very experimental. Right?
Yeah, yeah. So definitely play safe here, and this is still early days.
Or this is the very end of it all. We won't know until the future, right? But that's the fun of it.
Yeah. All right. That's it for us. If you have any questions, please put it in the comment section below. If you find anything in crypto or in the treasury space, also put it in the comments. Appreciate you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Peace.